Following our recent success with finding an antique gold ring on an historical beach in Australia, we thought we would try our luck on the famous Golden Triangle goldfields. This time we're going to look for potato-sized nuggets of gold, just like the old timers used to find back in the early days of the gold rush. Believe it or not, the beach can distribute heavy targets according to weight distribution and produce gold as well. It is not always like that, however. The beach can be a very hit and miss exercise.
May I record the first signal that we get today, it's in the wet sand.
So chances of it being a gold ring's actually a little bit slim, but yeah, it sounds pretty good.
If it's heavy, if it's a coin, there might be some rings around here too, so we'll have a look.
Yeah.
Aluminium. Oh no, belt buckle.
Belt buckle. Alright, so
you can see that's clearly light, so we might have to scout up and down a bit more, but if that's going to be at what, 10 inches, maybe a bit more, it looks like it might not be happening for us here today, but it's always sometimes interesting working those dunes at the back too as it hits the start of the wet sand. So this is about 15 minutes on the beach, probably about 7 minutes each, just, you know, having a bit of fun with my little daughter out there. Today's obviously a non-successful day. You can see everything we found was light. There was one target found in the dry sand, not recorded. And
sometimes because there are a much higher percentage of good and bad targets.
What can I have it for?
Ice cream?
Ice cream. That's your ice cream.
And this can change from day to day. Sometimes for the good and sometimes for the bad. Sometimes all you can do is zigzag the area and try to find a spot where the heavy items are lying. Other times
throw your
you
rubbish
just have
out.
to put up with lots of rubbish.
Alright, let's go.
Like a kind of a lucky dip. Or maybe it's just a great way to enjoy the sunshine. Cool beach water, or go for a dip. But the best time to get gold items are around the rips and after big storms, as gold is heavy and sinks about 100mm every tide, unless there is a sticky base bottom for heavier items to get stuck in.
As you can see, there's a nasty cyclone forming right up the top end of Australia.
Or you can do the dry sand and find lost jewellery that people have left on their towels and dropped when they shake the sand off the towel. However, on our new trip to the Golden Triangle, we are taking the Minelab GPX 3000 with an 18-inch double D coil. Darren has bought a signal booster or audio amplifier so we can hear extremely faint signals that other people may have missed.
Everything. I can even hear the pulses of the detector going off continuously in my ear, but that helped. I believe that was just enough of an edge that I picked the nugget up the other day, which was, I would have easily have gone past it. So it's given me about an extra 10% hearing ability.
We don't mind missing the odd small piece of gold on this trip, as we are shooting for the larger nuggets. Not just the big gold nuggets, but the really big gold nuggets worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
How much do you think it's worth?
You said 150,000, you'd be pretty close.
Otherwise known as the retirement nuggets. And they once existed in numbers on very small patches of ground. Last time we found 5 reasonable sized gold nuggets with a smaller search coil and made enough money to cover the costs of the trip. But they were found in a spot that looked completely wrong and was not hammered with detectors over the last 30 years or so. We really need to find gold on this trip to motivate us to continue with the hobby and making videos. If we can find gold in a new area, then we can pan some of the area surrounding the gold to determine if there is more. And it will prove that there is still gold that other detectorists and old-timers have missed in the Golden Triangle area, Australia. Some of the following is paraphrased from the Bible of gold prospecting. At Raywood, about 15 miles of Sandhurst, and at Kamaruka, very rich diggings have been opened. The gold found at Raywood is generally coarse and many nuggets from 2 to 100 ounces have been taken out of quite shallow drifts.
As you can see, they have built everything on top of the goldfields.
In some parts, the gold-bearing drifts is composed of hard, white cemented sand, which requires blasting to remove it. The sinking varies from 1 to 2 feet, or even 50 feet.
No diggings here at all. They've built an entire town on top of the goldfields.
There is an extensive field opened to the prospector, and it is beyond doubt that the main leads touched at Raywood would ultimately be followed onward towards the Murray. Reefs of white quartz surrounding the surface, every foot of which contained gold visible to the naked eye, excited neither curiosity nor inquiry, and the careless shepherd whose earnings amounted to no more than 10 or 15 shillings a week every day drew water from the creek, and grains of gold far exceeding in value the simple fee of the run on which he was a labourer.
This is where the big nuggets are, so if you don't find anything, you don't find anything, but if you find something, it might be a good sized one, fingers crossed. Up there, we're looking at it, it doesn't seem to be a great deal of workings. We suspect there's going to be some deep reefs, and that's where all these big nuggets are coming from. Deep reefs. Chances of getting up there anything with a metal detector is probably negligible because it's probably metres and metres down. But metres and metres down all the way over here, you can see all of the workings. Now, all these workings is where it's all washed, and guessing's moved from down this hill through here over the thousands and thousands of years, and that's where it's all ended up, and that's where it's accessible, maybe because there's a rock bottom, clay bottom, something that stopped the gold from moving any further. So we're going to have a bit of explore around, just get a bit of a feel for the place before we can make too much more of an opinion.
The general appearance of the gold-producing country is not such to attract the attention of the ordinary traveller. He might pass over it again and again and never suspect that it contained the most valuable of metals. The common ores may be recognized by the most ignorant, but a stranger in a strange land would scarcely credit the evidence of his senses if he saw gold. He would, at the time, in all probability, see iron pyrites and mica, and it would not occur to him that the treasures, which in his youth he had considered as belonging only to a few favoured spots of the earth, could be revealed in a place whose value was measured by the grass in which it grew.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good signal, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Well, we'll dig it up. Hopefully it's in virgin ground. They're going to make the hole big enough so you can put the coil in there and move it around. See if that really is a signal or not.
A lot of quartz underneath.
It is known from time to time that pieces of gold was collected and sold by some of the labourers on the sheep stations shortly after the colony was occupied, but the discovery was regarded with suspicion. No one knew the source from whence the metal was obtained, and no inquiries were made until the subject was forced upon the attention of the colonists by the discovery of gold in New South Wales.
Oh no! That was 20 plus inches down for that piece of...
The shallower alluviums or gold-bearing dirt are not yet completely exhausted anywhere, and thousands of square miles are yet untouched.
Digging around the mine shafts. Kept on digging and I got into one of the mine shafts and it started collapsing. And still I hadn't found what I was looking for until I hit a Coke can. I was so disappointed. After such a hard work, the ground pretty much collapsing underneath me to find a Coke can.
Thought I'd show you this. It looks like a pretty big snake skin.
And very scaly.
I wonder where the pretty big snake is.
Can you hear? I bet you can hear that on camera easy.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Ah! Plant biting me.
Could be ants.
Out here too, mate, so I'm fucking weird.
These are really
There you
nasty.
go.
Stay away from these.
Bobby
Okay.
pin.
Yeah, we get down there on the beach as well, don't we?
Yeah, no hiding from him.
This almost sent us packing for home, as we have concluded that there is no gold around. But, yes, we do find gold on this trip,